Hello and welcome to We Live in a Society. If you could give one piece of advice to society based on your experiences, what would that be?
Okay, for society, I would say treat people like how you wanted to be treated. Don't discriminate. Um, think about what your actions could do to someone else in society and treat everyone with kindness.
What is your biggest fear?
Mm. My biggest fear is that our my kids would not be safe and happy. I fear that for all the good things that has happened to them and bad things that have happened to us, that they're all great people now. And my biggest fear is that for some reason things just fall apart, which I hope doesn't happen. I also fear at the moment to what is happening in the world, and yeah, I get a little bit worried about the future of what's going to happen to this planet, and hopefully there'll be people out there to help it so that it doesn't fall apart. So yeah, I'm worried about the environment and the way the world is, and I think we all need to listen to the experts and be more aware of what we're doing to it.
What is the kindest thing that someone's done for you?
I've had many people do nice things, more so now than when I was going through this separation and my kids and being on my own. But one of the lovely things was that when I turned 50, to me that was a milestone because I lost my mum at 29 when she was 29, and to turn 50 was a huge thing for me. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned, but then it did when I was 60. But one of the kindest things was I have a beautiful bunch of girlfriends that I've had since kindergarten, some of them, and they actually surprised me. They said they were just going to, call around or whatever, or didn't even plan anything. Just said, "Get ready, we might go out for lunch." They actually rocked up in a limo, and they brought me a limo. They took me in a limo, and we went up to Noah's, which was one of the beautiful restaurants in Newcastle. Toured around Newcastle beaches, which I loved. Had champagne, and then we had a beautiful, beautiful meal and partied on till really, really late. So to me, that was lovely. That meant the world to me, and it's a memory that I will always, always keep.
What is the biggest lie that you've told?
I don't think I have a biggest lie. I have little white lies that I used to tell when I was a kid. Um, Now living with an autistic child, it's hard to lie. But I do remember, like I think most of us, is sneaking out. And we did used to say we we're going to someone else's places, but we didn't. We ended up going to parties. And it's funny how things come around and get you, but it's still funny. We went to a girlfriend's place and we had like a little party. And it's really funny. We actually got ourselves some passion pop. I don't know how we got it, but we got passion pop and some port. And we drank. And of course we got sick and everything. But it's funny. Recently I went away with my auntie and it's really funny. She brought some passion pop. So I had to confess that I had this when I was 15, not 18. So I think a few of the lies was telling grandparents that you were going somewhere where you didn't go. Not sure if my children did that, but I'm pretty sure they did.
What has been your most memorable holiday?
My most memorable holiday was Hawaii. It's my first time I ever travelled overseas, and I went with my daughter. Um, just the laid-back lifestyle I absolutely loved. Loved the scenery. And yeah, the people were lovely. They were very laid back, loving people. We actually went on a cruise ship and we cruised around to all the islands, which was much better than staying in Honolulu because there you actually got to meet people. I think I did learn in some of the islands their island life was fading and that it was really, really hard for the children to stay in the islands like Hawaii. There wasn't any job situation for them. So a lot of the kids had to actually go back over to Honolulu, to the main island, and actually get work and education to further their education and stuff. So that would put a strain onto the family, and a lot of the kids didn't go back. A lot of kids didn't go back home. So I did find that was a real cultural thing different to us, where they are lovely with the kids and they're so nurturing with the kids, but unfortunately the kids can't stay because there's not enough work environment for them.
Janette, what was your childhood like?
Okay. My childhood was pretty bad. When I mean bad, it was sad. It was hard. Um, my mother, unfortunately, when I was 7, suicided, which I didn't find out till many, 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 many years. I think I was an adult before I realised the truth that she actually suicided and not died of a kidney failure. I was brought up with my maternal grandmother. Me and my sister. There was my sister, myself, and then my brother. Me and my sister were brought up with my grandmother, and my brother went with my father. Uh, it was a hard battle because Dad and my grandmother used to fight, and we'd had lots of scenes out the front, and yeah, lots of situations. We even had a couple of incidents where the police had to come to calm it all down. Lots of battles, but in the end, I lost my contact with my dad and ended up being brought up by my maternal grandmother and grandfather. They did a great job. I realise now just how much a great job they did do. But yeah, my childhood was pretty rough, and I miss my mum. I wish I had had a mum. I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to become a mum. But yeah, but she had problems, and I think in society now she would have been fine. Yeah, but yeah, childhood was tough, but you got through it. You got through it.
When was the moment that you felt most afraid?
I think that the most I've ever felt afraid was in the time of the separation. Going through a marriage breakup and a separation um, brings out things in people that you don't know existed. But I will admit there was a very, very frightening time when my ex told me he was going to come and kill me and the 3 kids would be missing. And I was so frightened that that was going to happen. Um, there was lots of moments with him, but yeah, he scared me a lot then. There was a person that I had seen before because we lived in a bad marriage for a while and it was really, really hard. So yeah, he scared me. Took me a long, long time to get strong enough to confront him. But yeah, and I'm sorry, it's my kid's dad, but yeah, but towards me, yeah, he frightened me the most out of anyone.
Janette, what is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, I would say, is not continuing with my education. I left school early for boys, but yeah, and because of the situation we're living, I wanted to earn some money to buy things for myself. But I think the biggest regret I have now is not to further my education. Would have liked to have some sort of degree. Yeah.
What is one thing that you wish you had never heard?
The one thing I wish I had never heard was that my mother had passed away. Um, that was really, really hard for a young girl at my age. I do have another one that was really hard as well, was to be told that my son has autism. That was a shock, and yeah, you felt like you did something wrong, but you didn't. You didn't. But yeah, they're the two things that were the two things I'd never wanted to hear.
What's one thing you wish you had have said to someone but never got the chance?
I wish I had told my mum I love her. I was only a child at the time. I'm not sure whether I did or didn't. But yeah, I would like her to know that I did love her, and it was nice to have a mum.
When was the moment in your life that you felt most alive?
One of the moments in that I felt that I'm happy to be alive is recently, as we're getting older, a few people that I know have passed away. One in particular was a person that used to look after my Shane at school. He worked all his life. He turned 60. He was about to retire and he had all this plan to go around the world and do his trips. Unfortunately, he died of a heart attack before he even got the chance. So, I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I'm grateful that I'm still healthy. And I think
What was a defining moment in your life?
defining moment in my life was when I finally realised I was in a bad marriage and that I had the courage to get out of it. From then on, it determined me to make a happy home and for me and my children, and that you can do
If
it.
you could go back in time and change one thing, what would that be?
Okay, if I could go back and change one thing, once again, it would be that my mother would still be here with us, and that I would be brought up hopefully in a family environment. I think that would have changed so many things in my life. But, you know, I do have a belief that things happen for a reason, and there's always a reason why some things happen. So you've got to believe in that things happen for a reason. Some things you can't change. But yeah, if I had had the opportunity to have her still in our life, I think it would have been a lovely experience for us all. Okay, I can remember a funny incident. And it's only that we went to Parramatta on the weekend that it brought back a memory. My children did a lot of sports, and I used to take them when they used to do rep sport. And my eldest son was very good at softball. So we had to go to Manly, and it's really hard, unless you live in Australia, to understand what I'm talking about. But Manly's to the east, Parramatta's more to the west. We're going along the freeway, and I'm sure I had to go through Parramatta. So we went to Parramatta. We're driving along thinking, where's this Manly turn off? Where's this Manly turn off? Couldn't find it. So when we're at the traffic light, we seen these two policemen. And we said to these two policemen, excuse me, because you had to wind down the window then, we're looking for Manly. They went, oh my God, love, you're way, way out of the idea. He said, follow us. So we actually got a police following a police car to show us how to get to Manly. It was very embarrassing, and now I think, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was a funny story of being helped by the police and having to follow the police as an escort where to get to a location. A funny story that I did have was driving again, and we used to go to travel with Shane for his vaulting, and Josh came. We had a Nimbus car, so we had it packed because we used to camp. Coming home from Kellyville, I could hear a funny pull in the car, and I thought, well, something's just not right. I thought, I'm not sure about this. And because the kids were younger, I think Josh was 14 at the time, we pulled into a service station place, and we got out and we checked everything. We had the bonnet up, we were looking for sound, couldn't find anything. Mind you, no one come over to help us, no gentleman come over to help us. We thought, oh, well, it all looks fine, well, off we go. Well, off we go, and we're 10 kilometres out of the service station, and we're sort of heading up to a hill. And I heard this sound. I thought, oh my gosh, there's a helicopter. Where's that helicopter? And I'm looking for a helicopter, and then plonk. Flat tyre. Never knew what a flat tyre was. Haven't had one before. So I had to pull the car over from the highway. Thank God I had Josh. Shane, with his autism, the only thing we could do with him was I thought better keep him away from the road. So we put him in a chair. We gave him his iPad, well, Game Boy. It was a little Game Boy, so he could play that. We had to unload the whole lot of the car, all the stuff in the car, because the spare tyre was underneath the back where all that stuff was. And we're on a main highway, and we had a flat tyre. It was my first flat tyre, but I honestly thought it was a helicopter, and I'm driving along thinking, where's that helicopter? Where's that helicopter? To the humour of my two sons, and it's just one of those family jokes. It's, yeah, won't let me live it down. Oh, where's the helicopter, they keep telling me. So that was a really funny story, yeah.